So guys, we're back, and I have got a few videos I think I'm going to try to make. I got some things I got to show off. First off, let me say that I am an Nvidia, or not an Nvidia, but an AMD fanboy. I recently bought a GTX 770 straight from Nvidia. There was no outside manufacturer like MSI or Asus. I went straight to Nvidia, got a GTX 770. I bought that from my local Best Buy here in Indiana, and I brought the card home, used it for about 3 weeks, and I just was not impressed. And I'll tell you the reason why. For those of you who don't know, I also recently bought a PLS monitor, 27-inch monitor, and the difference between there's differences. There's 3 different popular models out there right now. You have one that is a TN panel, which is a twisted pneumatic, and then you have there's one called IPS, which is in-lane plane switching, and then you have PLS, which is plane to line switching. But the TN panels are the most popular. They're the cheapest panels, and they have awesome response time for gaming, low latencies. So a lot of people like those for gaming, but the drawbacks are they have bad color accuracy and the viewing angles are terrible. IPS monitors they tend to be a little bit more pricey, but they have awesome color accuracy, and the drawback to them is they have bad response, or bad response time. Now Samsung has made a PLS monitor, which is the one that I actually own. It's basically the same as an IPS monitor, but it's cheaper to make. It has better brightness, has wider viewing angles, and to me, it's the top of the line. It's the QHD of all 3 monitors. It's kind of like the Cadillac, I think, of monitors, but it's actually affordable. So I think I paid like $330 for my first TN panel that I eventually gave to my son just here recently, because just going from a PLS monitor back to a TN is just crazy. My wife still has a TN 1080p monitor here, 27-inch also, but we play the same games, and I can definitely tell the difference between her monitor and mine. So for those of you for around about the same money as a good quality TN panel, you can get your 27-inch for about $330. This one is a QNX that I own. I think it's a Korean-made monitor. Very cheap panel. I mean, it's bare bones, but the quality of the pic is just awesome. It's also 2560 by 1440p, which I think helps also awesomely too. But that is part of the story and part of the reasons why I say that I'm a AMD fanboy now, because the Nvidia, what I started noticing is that there was a clear difference between the Nvidia card, that GTX 770 that I had, and I kept switching out to my HD 6970, which is was the only higher end graphics card that I had at the time from AMD's, what I had been using. And in my opinion, I can see why Nvidia normally tends to outperform, their cards tend to outperform AMD, is because they take shortcuts in their video. And what I was noticing is that watching the exact same screen, playing the exact same places in games, comparing the two technologies, how AMD does it versus Nvidia does it. Nvidia tends to look a little bit more cartoony. I think they cheap out on the graphics. I think they kind of take shortcuts in order so that they can run faster. But AMD tends to run slower, but their graphics fidelity looks hands down better, and it was just made way more visible to me when I switched out and I went and got this PLS monitor, and I can absolutely see the difference between the two companies. So I will be running AMD graphics from now on. But long story short, because of that, I originally, I was an Nvidia fanboy for probably 7 years. I started in 2000, around about 2007, 2008. I bought that 6970 that I still have, and it's still working, still going strong. And I have been using that up until a few months ago. And when I got the GTX 770, so I used it for about 3 weeks, took it back, repackaged everything because I take care of all my stuff, and I told the people there that I wanted to exchange it for two R9 270Xs, so that's what I did. So I'm running Crossfire now, and they were actually pretty cheap too. I think I paid they wanted $380, but for those of you who don't know, Best Buy does price matching for Newegg. So if you tell them what it is, they walk around little iPads or whatever. They can go to the computer or whatever, and they can look it up and see if it's offered for that price, and they'll give you the cards for that price. So they were originally wanting I think $256 for the R9 270Xs. I got them down to $219 because that's what they were selling them for on Newegg. So that's what they gave them to me for. So. But yeah, put both those in, and I got a whole new video coming up to show you guys some Crossfire performance and some of the problems that I ran into. Even though I'm an AMD fanboy, AMD's not perfect. Crossfire is a headache. It's really picky, but once you learn how to work the technology, you can get a lot out of it. So I'm going to show you guys the correlation between Crossfire and frame pacing, because depending on the game that you're playing, you have to turn off Crossfire to get better frames out of games. If frame pacing is enabled, if you turn it off, then you can get better frames in some games. And vice versa, if you have black lines going on your screen, your card's not going bad. It's the fact that frame pacing isn't on. So you have to, the only game that I've been able to find that is actually sensitive to frame pacing is Crysis 3. So you have to use that to see whether or not frame pacing is on. If it's on, you won't see any lines, any black horizontal lines across the screen. But if it's off, you will see these black lines, and it'll look like stuff is glitching up or whatever. So that's the way that you could tell, but I'll put a video out showing you that, and some gameplay with Borderlands 2, and a little tweak, or a fluke that I ran into when I was using God Rays in Assassin's Creed 4. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. I'll try to upload those videos as soon as I can.